Welcome to a special edition of Around Town. We are at the former Home Depot, now Word Tabernacle Church. David Ferris joined us. Thank you, David.
Glad to be here. This is exciting.
It is exciting. And of course, Pastor James Gallagher, the senior pastor at Word Tabernacle. And I can't wait for you to share this. I think you mentioned to me the other day at Bible study that you have people ask you all the time, when are y'all moving into Home Depot? Yeah. You're here, partially.
Right.
But this, to share with all of us, the plans is just, David and I've been learning about it already. We're amazed.
your jaw drops.
Yeah.
It doesn't come back. And yeah, James, zero in on where we are in this facility now.
Yeah, well, we're literally standing right just beneath the star right here in our conference room. And this is, we've already built out about 10% of the building. So this, when you look at the whole project, you kind of get a chance to see how vast it is. Under roof, we have 102,000 square feet. And then an additional 23,000 square foot in the nursery area, which is additional outdoor space. So you're talking about 125,000. If I'm not mistaken, the building itself is just like 2.5 acres under roof on a 16-acre property with about 750 paved parks. And then we're still looking at some additional out parcels and things. So we're just right here in the conference room, and we've already built out a room that we're currently worshiping in with 1,000 seats. And then of course we have some offices here and a break room and things like that. The objective was to get the congregation in here. We had sold our old building and we were worshiping in the gymnasium, and we just wanted to get people in the building because when they finally get a chance to see it, and you know, David, really your response has been the norm. We've done tours for the last 3 weeks or so. And I think part of it is just what do I expect when I walk into a former big box store? And then the other one is like, I don't know what I was expecting, but I don't think it was this.
It was kind of a combination of both, frankly.
It's just jaw-droppingly beautiful.
It truly
and you have the audio system, Thrive, which is kind of your embraced challenge going forward, lit up in purple. It is just an absolutely magnificent facility. And that's just going to be the future fellowship hall.
That's just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, and that show us where that space is.
This is close to 1,000.
Yeah, 1,000 seats. Yeah.
How does that compare with your old sanctuary on Nashville?
Our old sanctuary is 500 seats, and so this is double the size. Our whole building, and we had 3 buildings on our old campus on Nashville Road. Our whole building was 22,000 square feet. Our nursery area here is bigger than our entire facility was at the old facility. And so our final sanctuary and performing arts center, we're calling it, is going to be 2,300 seats, and that's 35,000 square feet by itself. And you know, one of the things that I'm most excited about the project, because I know it's easy for people to kind of say, well, this is just one church's project. What does this really have to do with the city of Rocky Mount? I just really view it as human development for the whole city. This is really not about a local church renovating a big building. For me, what all of this represents is Rocky Mount saying we are now mainstreaming human development. And human development has gone on forever. Don't get me wrong. It's happened in nooks and crannies. It's happened in the community I pastored in South Rocky Mount. And all these agencies do an amazing job in their own silos, right? But we've never had a 100,000 square foot entity devoted to improving people's lives, literally amidst the commercial, retail, and environment. So literally, you come into the city of Rocky Mount, you get off the highway, you hit Highway 301, and one of the first places you see is 100,000+ square foot building that's just devoted to people's lives getting better. So I think it makes a strong statement for the city of Rocky Mount in terms of in terms of our priorities. And so I don't want people looking at this project like, well, this is just going to be a Word Tabernacle thing. The reality of it is, and this is the norm for most churches, most people don't know this about churches, but in our industry, the church industry, on average, nationally, and we're no exception, 80% of all the programming of a church happens for people that are not a part of the congregation. And so most people kind of assume, churches are their own kind of inclusive kind of community. Statistically, that's not the case. You know, so when we begin building out, for example, this wing, which we'll start this month, we've already signed the contract to do that. This is about 35,000 square feet of space. In this 35,000 square feet of space, we're going to have 20 classrooms. The nursery area that we're going to operate on Sundays as a nursery is already being approved as a daycare facility. So we want to put a daycare facility in, it's already approved to do that. 20 classrooms, 2 game rooms, what we call a loud game room, you know, video gaming and pool tables and that kind of stuff, and then quiet gaming, you know, where kids can learn to play chess and things like that. Locker facility, fitness center, a multi-purpose room that'll have some indoor basketball courts in it. We may convert that to something different later on, but for right now, that's what we'll do with it. And then one of our flagship programs is called REACH. It stands for Responsive Emergency Assistance to Cooperating Households. We run a huge organization here where we do clothing assistance, food assistance, utility assistance, prescription drug assistance, whatever we can to really holistically develop people in their situation. And so we're going to build out our REACH Center as part of this next phase as well. Currently, we're still using the space on our old campus where Greater Joy Baptist Church is. We're training the people at Greater Joy to run their own REACH Center. So that REACH Center will stay intact. And then we'll add a second REACH Center. So now there'll be 2 REACH Centers in the city of Rocky Mount. And this model was built literally on a national best practice platform. So when it comes to really how do we reach people at their moment of emergency and holistically help them and not enable them but empower them, this model is really a national model. It's so good that we actually received some FEMA funding, so we actually get federal funding to help with this program because this is that solid of a program. So that's going to be built out in this initial phase along with a small chapel and a small prayer room. And so this is going to be the hub of ministry for us because this is where we develop people. You know, so this is where NA classes will be, and AA, and this is where the GD program is. This is where we do life skills. This is where we do entrepreneurship training. This is where we do marriage strengthening and premarital counseling and tutoring of kids. And when I tell you the list does not end, I mean, these classrooms will be filled and occupied from 8 a.m. until 9 p.m. 6 or 7 days a week. And nothing is going on but making people's lives better. And the bulk of these people's lives we're making better, they're not limited to the membership of our Tabernacle. These are people that are not members of our church, not members of any church. And the other thing that's so important is that all of our program, because it's built on a best practice platform, we work through all of the logistics in terms of how to do it. We make the mistakes, then we start tracking our outcomes and successes, and then we package that program. And then we just wait for other churches to say, hey, you know what, you do a great men's roundtable, you do a great premarital counseling program, you do a great program for intervention with kids whose dads are incarcerated. How can we do that? We can then pick up that program, take it to their congregation, train their people on how to do it, and walk away. So literally, it's not just, so this is how catalytic change happens. Because a lot of times you have people doing good work in their own silo. But it's just in their silo. And then you got all these other things that are around them that are not good. But if you can find a way to cataclysmically just literally drop programs all around, kind of saturate the community with them, I think that's really how you make change. That's why this building is so important. The other thing is, somebody's got a small little not-for-profit, and they're up and coming, and they're like, man, I got this great program, but I don't have any space. Well, we've got 35,000 square feet of space just for education. So we can then look at that not-for-profit or even a for-profit entity and say, well, you know what, we've got a classroom. You know, we can house that program in this facility. Exactly right. You know, because, and so that's for me the real value of this project is not just the strengthening and growing of one local congregation. I really think is how we're going to help make a major change in Rocky Mount and Eastern North Carolina. You mentioned Thrive. That's our branding. We want people's lives to substantively be better in every area. So we don't just look at their spiritual life. We look at what's going on financially with them. We look at what's going on in terms of their fitness and health. We look at their social relationships. We look at their education level. And then we want to take a step back. And it's almost like a child in a school system. That they'll do, you know, sort of a personal improvement plan for that child. And when they do that plan, it's not just so he or she'll do better in math or science or history. How can we make this person a better student? So the plan is around more holistic development. That's the one thing I think we do extraordinarily well, is that we learn how to develop the whole person. And so what's exciting for me is that we get a chance to see people thrive holistically in this facility.
I love the caption at the bottom, people and building under renovation. That pretty much frames what you've been telling us.
Absolutely.
And you've got church members all over, and they're organized by districts, right? And so you have got people everywhere who can have their eyes open and be on the lookout for various needs in the community. And from your public forum about a year ago, and various ways you've already tried to engage the existing programs and existing partners, then they can come in and help point out needs. Boys and Girls Club, she's school superintendent, all of them can work with you too, right?
That's exactly right. And we maintain a great relationship with all the other entities. There's nothing that we do that we view competitive in any way at all. I really view it complementary to the other programs and activities that go on. I think there's really some exceptional not-for-profits and some exceptional work in Rocky Mount. I think what we lack is real solid collaboration and synergy is one of my favorite words. I think we just kind of lack some synergy. I think this can help synthesize that. I think this can help move us in that direction. And so we do develop, we are very interested in working with those other agencies and those other entities.
Well, David, you were asking how the front's going to be different.
Yes.
But right before we started, we came up and saw the former Home Depot entrance. Is that going to go, or what are you going to do with that?
Yeah, it'll begin. This will look very different, the entrance, when you first come in. But in terms of the overall brickwork and structure, quite frankly, we won't get to that probably for, I don't know, probably 2 years. And, and I'm okay with that, because what we really care, and this is exactly what we feel about people, we really care about how good the inside is. That's really what we care about. And so we could have done some bells and whistle stuff and spent some money on the front end of that, but we didn't feel like that represented our philosophy. And so when we're developing people, we're not primarily concerned about their nail color, or whether they're bald, or whether or not they have extensions, or whether or not they have natural hair, or that's not our primary concern. Our primary concern is their heart and what's going on internally.
You've done a good job of answering that, because a lot of people have said, well, when are they going to change the exterior? When are they going to change the exterior? And as they watch this program and learn more about the interior of it, and what you're saying is that answers that. And you're wise in getting the inside, the body fit before the
on a regular, on a regular basis, I hear, I was driving down Hunter Hill on Sunday, and I've never seen so many cars. You've reached over 3,000 members now, haven't you?
We just passed 3,000 members, which is amazing to me. 10 years ago, we had 14 members. And as you know, they come from 10 North Carolina counties. And so the footprint of the church has really grown and really big. And so we are a church located in Rocky Mount, not so much a Rocky Mount church. Now, the reason I think that's important is because we have made a very strategic decision to invest in Rocky Mount. I mean, this is an $8 million investment.
Without question, that's a heck of an investment.
And so we want to be here. I believe in Rocky Mount. I love the people here. I think we can help make Eastern North Carolina better, Rocky Mount better. So we've got people coming now from, of course, Nash and Edgecombe counties, but they come from Halifax, Johnson, Wake, Wilson, Durham. We now have active members. I'm not talking about people that come occasionally. We have active members from Guilford County who live in Greensboro.
Wow.
And so, people come from Winterville and throughout Greenville and Pitt County and the Virginia border. And so that's another reason why this location was so pivotal for us. We started out as a small community church. And so that's where we made our investment. God grew us naturally into a regional church. So when we grew into the regional church, it made sense to have a regional location. It just made sense to be on the highway, to be where we are. And so it was never I never expected to leave the community. And I don't consider us having left the community. I just consider us we're now better positioned to reach those 10 counties and those people that we're trying to reach. And what should really encourage the business community, and I think everybody else, is that our church model has proven that if you have a better product and or better service, people will come to Rocky Mount. They will absolutely come. So when these people come from these 8 other counties, they're not just worshiping here. They're having lunch here and dinner here, and they're buying gas here.
It's an economic benefit to the
exactly.
And coming to performances here down the road beyond the church. So
your makeup, what percentage would you say is out of the Twin County area?
What percentage out of the Twin County area? The Twin County probably right at about 50%, 40 to 50%. And then those other collective counties make up the other 50%.
That's a good balance. That's a healthy balance.
And that, it helps strengthen us overall because, I like diversity from a social, economic, demographic perspective. I mean, I like racial diversity as well.
Sure.
But specifically from a social, economic, demographic perspective because it creates almost like a self-correcting mechanism within our own organization.
You're blending different parts and different cultures from around the state.
Absolutely. So when we do something, if we were 100% Rocky Mount Church, we would be thinking like that. But oftentimes somebody's sitting at the table from Durham or from Wake County or from Pitt County, and they bring a different angle and a different perspective. So when we're able to do programs, it is a lot more holistic and I think a lot healthier. So that's really helped us. And what encourages me is that there's still tons of people to reach. So it's not like we even come close to saturating out our market. I mean, if it's 58,000 people here in the city proper, maybe 1,500 of our members live here, and then, we have 300 other churches here, but only half of the people that live in Rocky Mount attend a church on any given Sunday morning. And so there's still a lot of opportunity for growth. And I think as people see a church really trying to develop people, I think it's really going to make a difference. Now that's just the education side.
Okay, well, we're going to take a break.
Okay.
Are you just starting out on your own and want to be independent? Do you have a family and need a bigger home? Are the kids moving out? And are you downsizing? First Carolina Realty can help. A 1 or 2 bedroom apartment or house for those starting out. A 3 or 4 bedroom home for a growing family. Rentals, sales, new homes, pre-owned homes, investment property in the city or in the country. Call First Carolina Realty. Now is a good time to make that move. Real estate prices are right, interest rates are low, and there is a fantastic selection of homes available.
First Carolina Realty is a fully licensed real estate firm with offices at 3151 Zebulon Road in Rocky Mount.
If you have rental properties and are tired of the headaches associated with managing them yourself, or if you're looking for a new management team to manage your rental properties, call First Carolina Realty at 252-985-2321. Visit our webpage at firstcarolinarealty.com. We will gladly help you with all your real estate needs.
Hi, I'm Jean Almond of Almond's Drugs, and I want to invite you to be Almond's customer for your prescriptions. Our average pharmacy wait for your prescription is only 10 to 15 minutes. We have drive-through windows at both locations. We will deliver your prescription free. Our friendly and very experienced pharmacists specialize in consultation, and we are locally owned and have been a loyal part of your community for over 70 years. Just make one phone call to us and we'll make the transfer so we can start taking care of you. We are at Word Tabernacle's new home at the Home Depot, and just, David, I don't know about you, but I'm just really excited to watch this.
This is huge.
It is
this
huge.
Really is.
It's huge for all of us.
This is a game changer for our community.
It really is. And Senior Pastor James Galliard, we were going to walk around, but we decided during the break we're going to stay here, but then have him get shots and show what you're talking about. But right before the break, you were getting ready to comment more on the performing space, the sanctuary.
Yeah, the final renovation will be a 35,000 square foot, 2,300 seat performing arts center and sanctuary.
Put it in perspective. The Dunn Center's how many?
Just a little bit over 1,100 seats.
Okay.
And so it'll be double the size of the Dunn Center. And what's significant, a couple things are different about this room. First of all, it will be the largest room of its type in this area. Secondly, it's having built into it, and we're already doing this concept in our smaller room that we're worshiping in, which in the final plan will be a theater room, banquet room. So we already have piloted this, so we know it works, and we're going to do it. But one of the things that we're doing is putting in a state-of-the-art audio, video, and lighting system.
Talk to us about that.
Sure. We basically had a consultant analyze for us technical writers of gospel artists and contemporary Christian artists and secular artists. And the technical writers is simply something that they give a potential client when they're going into a city to say, hey, I love to come. However, I'm good at what I do and I'm used to these things. And literally it lays out. I want this type of soundboard, this type of ability to generate this amount of decibels, this kind of organ, this kind of keyboard, this kind of microphone. I mean, literally, it can be 6, 8, 10 pages. What happens with most entities, whether it's Dunn Center or any area, the Gateway or the college, it almost is very difficult to build these writers in from day one. So there are companies that do production and events, and you hire them, and they come in, and they fulfill the demands of that technical writer. But of course, that costs you. So now you're paying for the technical writer, and you're paying for the artist, and you have to pay for the venue. So after a while, if you only have 1,000 seats, 1,100 seats, 1,200 seats, and you're adding all these costs, you just can't make your money up. You just can't. In this building, in this room, we're going to have the seating capacity and the fulfillment of the technical writer, which means everything that the typical artist will look for, all they have to do is get off an airplane, we can hand them a microphone, and literally they can go to work.
Wow.
They can go to work. And so this radically changes who we can attract and how quickly we can attract them. Because, artists just basically want to be paid, right? So they don't care if it's 500 people in a room or 2,000 people in a room. But the reality of it is, in order to at least break even and make your money up, you have to have volume. You have to have seats, and you have to cap cost. This building will let people do that. In addition, obviously the location is premier in terms of being right off the highway, and we already have the paid parking. And we're close to restaurants. We're one exit away from hotels. When I go to DPAC, Duke Energy, I always have dinner if I go to a show. And sometimes if I'm not super busy, I might even stay overnight. And so I really think we have the ability to attract artists in this room, both secular and sacred, that will come into Eastern North Carolina. Even the convention center, the convention center at in Greenville does not even have a writer-ready system built into it. And so there's no one in our area in Eastern North Carolina that has this kind of ability. If you were to go to an event at PNC right now with a major event company having set it up, there will be almost no difference in equipment they're using at that major arena and the ones that we already have in this facility. And so we're piloting in here, we're doing it. It's going to really be a game changer. I think you're right in terms of what you said, David. It's going to really be a game changer. In addition to that, we'll have the ability to hold receptions and banquets, 500 seats at round tables in this reception area, and an additional 400 seats in our banquet area. There'll be a catering kitchen with a service corridor that can simultaneously serve both banquet areas. One of the things that we did is, instead of doing what most churches do and put a baptistry somewhere in the sanctuary, we decided to double the cost of it and not just have a baptistry, but make it into basically a walled fountain. So it'll be a huge wall with a water fountain, literally, just amazing water feature, smack in the middle of the reception area that doubles as, smack in the middle of the lobby area that doubles as a reception room. So what happens is, when we use it for baptism purpose, it's there, but then the rest of the time it's just adding feature and aesthetics to a beautiful room. And so it really gives us an opportunity to house corporate business meetings. It gives us an opportunity to partner with the homeschooling community, which is something we're very interested in, active in wanting to do. It gives us an opportunity to host conferences. When you go to a conference, you need plenary session where everybody comes together, and then you need breakouts. You got to have those things. So we will be able to offer that, and then offer it in a high-tech, state-of-the-art environment on top of it. Because in addition to the audio, video, and lighting, there'll be screens and everything else that's really state-of-the-art. So when you look at this as a whole package, literally it's education and human development, and then the exposure to dance, drama, culture, and the arts in a major, perfect location and great parking. So we think it's going to really be a game changer for Rocky Mount.
Describe where the Bible study, this space right here, right now, because we're going to show it to everybody.
Yeah, so this is where we're currently worshiping, 1,000 seats, right under 1,000 seats. We add a few seats in to get us to that 1,000.
Great acoustic.
Great acoustic.
Beautiful.
It is amazing.
The sound system is amazing, and the acoustics are amazing. And we worked very, very hard to get there, but it was worth the investment. And 16-foot by 9-foot screens, and so, literally, everything is done in high definition. And so it's just a great environment. It's already a high-tech environment, and it's just only going to be more sophisticated in the final sanctuary. And then when we're done and we move into the Performing Arts Center and Sanctuary, this is then going to become the theater room and banquet room.
And your youth program, your teenage group is just really strong here too. I mean, how many kids do you have here?
Well, we have 1,121 K through 12 kids that in some way or another are connected with Word Tabernacle Church. Either they're a member or they participate in one of our programs, and they're a member somewhere else. And so I always tell people, if we were a public school, we'd be the second largest public school in the Nash Rocky Mount school system. So it's significant in the amount of kids that come into this church. And so, but again, so much of our thrust is around development of these young people. And so it's really, really important for us to make sure that we develop programs that can make them really outstanding. It's that whole concept of the crib or the cradle all the way to career. And we have to find a way to get them on that continuum from birth all the way to adulthood.
James, this has been a remarkable presentation, and we wish you, and I know the entire community of Rocky Mount wish you the very best.
Yeah. Thank you for what you're doing for us. I mean, we love this community, and I am really excited because I think I agree with you. This is a game changer.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate y'all letting us share it. Thank you very much.
We hope everyone is as excited as we are. Thank you for joining us.
And come to the church. Come to Bible study. There are lots of things going on here already. So, Pastor Dick Gaylor, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, David. Thank you.